Thank you so much for everybody to come today. We're really looking forward to Ioan Said to talk about his work. Ioan's been in business for over 10 years, 13 years, and he's going to talk about social aspect of his business, the commercial, but also involving the creative as well, and also the photo booth aspect that you're working from. Yeah.
Yes.
It's got a very varied and eclectic talk that he's going to, business that you're going to talk to us about, and I'd like you to welcome Said. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so hello, I'm Ioan. I've put it with a small I because quite often when I correspond by email, I'll say, I'll sign off Ioan and people reply to me Lone. And it doesn't matter how many times I change it, they still keep, so, it's Ioan, Ioan. So I'm a photographer. I've got three main brands. So I've got Ioan Said Photography. I've got Kellenen Photography. That's another one, Kellenen. And I have a luxury photo booth business. And one of the things about me, besides the fact that I'm a photographer, is that I'm colorblind. So even though I was part of Adobe's testing team when it came to the user, like when Adobe Lightroom came out, I've not used it myself for editing in many, many years because my opinion on color is not that applicable to my business. But yet I've managed to survive all this time, and hopefully I can give you some tips and tricks on how to do so yourselves. So sometimes when we especially go to conference, if you haven't been to the photography show yet, please make sure you get some tickets. They're either discounted or free for students. I'm not entirely sure, but it's a fantastic resource, great for contacts and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes people will talk about themselves in a very, very strange way. So, hi, I'm an award-winning photographer, okay, and all that kind of stuff. Or I shoot VIPs and all that kind of thing. Now, it's like which is not only very, very bizarre, but also it's absolutely useless in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so I've shot so I shot sports stars. If you've seen the Two Popes, I shot the Jonathan Price and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, clients don't really care about that. Okay, so when you apply for a tender, which we do a lot, you've got the the accounting people who are like all they want is numbers, and then there's the the marketing people who are thinking, will these images work with our brand and all that kind of stuff. So whenever you encounter these things, so don't believe the hype. The only difference between myself and every other photographer, and perhaps even you, is experience. Okay, so and the reason why I start with that is because there is, especially around the events side of the business, a tendency to make these little heroes, or kind of like rock star photographers, they call them, and all that kind of thing. But really, there's space for you right now in the industry. There's never been a greater demand. Whether it's things like ASOS, Amazon, like the demand for pictures is absolutely crazy right now. And I just received a tender. It's in either Antrim or Galway, one of the two, £360,000. Okay, for some imagery that they're looking for. So there's definitely some space for you. So yeah, awards mean nothing to the public, and I'm not saying don't enter them, but make sure that they're actually useful for your business. Okay, so for example, I can tell you that the next award that I'm going to win is going to be in portrait photography. Why? Because I'm going to use it, with my PR to shift part of my business, okay, like from weddings more to portrait and family portrait photography, because that's where I am in my life right now. I've got a 4-year-old, and so my weekends are a bit more premium. Okay, I want to spend a bit more time with him and all that kind of stuff. So I use it in that way. Other awards, okay, give you money. Okay, that's the kind of stuff that you need to look for. So, for example, when I won Wedding Photographer of the Year for the BIPP in Northwest, that meant that for a whole year I did not pay for my wedding albums. Okay, that's profit. That's how I became a Zenfolio ambassador, so I don't pay for my websites anymore and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's the only way that you should look at awards. How can they benefit directly financially my business? But there are some awards that come with grants. There is a website, and I wish I remember it, but that actually, like, every week they say, okay, right, this one comes with a £20,000 grant for you to go to China and shoot some stuff and all that kind of thing. Yeah, okay. Shot Up North, that's one which is very, very useful. One, because it's localish, okay, it's based in Manchester, but also because they, like all the winners, are printed in a book, which is delivered then to buyers and agencies all over London, all over the country. Okay, so Shot Up North, make sure you check that one out. When you look at websites, and they're promoting their celebs and VIPs and all that kind of stuff, think about, like there's one recently, you know, it's like, oh, I shot the Queen. Think about how many people shot the Queen over the years, okay? It's not that special. Just don't let yourselves be kind of like wowed by that stuff. Look for the content. And when it comes to VVIPs, one thing I can tell you is that relationship is what's important, okay? So what they're looking for is they're not necessarily looking for the most creative, the most, you know, the biggest name and all that kind of stuff. When Prince William got his family portraits done and all that kind of stuff, or even the wedding pictures, some people say, oh, you know, I could have done better than that and all that kind of stuff. But that's not the point. Relationship is the point, okay? The relationship that you develop with your client. That's why, and this is really important, you're definitely not competition for me, and none of you should see each other as competition, because people hire from people. So even though you might have an amazing website to start with, and, like, you know, they go for you as, oh, clearly, you know, they've shot all of these people, they've got all of these awards. If they don't enjoy working with you, you're only going to work one time, and one time's fine. But my favorite clients are the ones that I've been working with for the past 10 years. Okay, so that's one thing which I wanted to do about that, and definitely don't believe your own hype. Okay, because as I say, people want, you know, work with people. So and one day you can be, you know, at the top, but if you just kind of lay back a bit, because you think, oh well, you know, I'm big, very, very quickly you start losing, you know, the pulse on the market. You stop doing all the stuff that got you there in the first place. You know. Whether it's becoming lazy with your lighting, becoming lazy with just like professional habits and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so yeah, work together. Okay, this is a really, really important bit. So you're not an island. Okay, that's quite clear. I had a joke, but because this is broadcasted, I will keep it to myself. So as I said earlier, I'm colorblind. Okay, and so clearly I've never edited any of my work, ever. Okay, so I've always had people doing it. Now, if you don't have that many projects, you might think, oh, why am I doing that? Well, one, I only make money when I click. Everything else, I don't profit from it. Whether it's social media marketing, whether it's coming to see you guys, but you guys are great. I mean, I live a mile and a half up the road, so it's not a problem. But the only way that I make money is by producing images. Everything else is a distraction. But also, I do a lot of pretty big campaigns. So the largest one that I did recently, I shot every single day for 35 days in a row. Okay, so like there was no way, and the reason why we did that was because they called me in September. I had to shoot in October for a campaign that had to be launched on the first week of November at a major European show, and so the weather, and all that kind of stuff, there was no excuses. So for that, obviously, I needed somebody to edit, and because we're shooting like over 1,000 images a day, and then I'm going to go back home and edit them and download them and this and that. It's not going to happen. Plus the logistics, all the different permits that we needed for all the different places that we were shooting and all that kind of stuff. So, make sure that you work together. Also, I hear there's some graphic designers here. Yes? No? Graphic designers, marketing agencies, PR, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, they're the people that you need to work with, because nobody's going to pay you for like your own little thing, like not on a sustainable basis anyways. You need to be producing images for purpose. Okay, so one of the issues that some photographers have a lot with is front covers. Okay, which is, it's not that complicated, but the thing is, like when you have a magazine, they need space for text here, there, and everywhere type of thing. So if you fill your image in a more of a traditional composition, it might look better to you and to most people generally, but they can't really use it. So make sure that you communicate with the graphic designers when it comes to marketing agencies and all that kind of stuff. Who's the client? So usually I do a lot of last year I did a whole campaign. If you look on Instagram mainly, England Originals, and on Facebook. So I did all of the photography for that, and that was aimed at North American millennials. So for like 3/4 of the year, I was shooting these young people. But now, just last week, I was in Anglesey shooting a cottage, and I said, okay, what kind of models do you want? And they were saying people in their 40s, 50s, with a lot of disposable income. Okay, so you make sure that the images that you're shooting, okay, and that you've got the communication with whoever's asking for them, so that you give them a useful image. Because if suddenly I put a bunch of university students in it, and then so you guys look at the pictures, oh yeah, that looks cool, you call, and you find out it's £500 per room per night, well then, that's not going to work, is it? So, and that's really, really, really important, and that goes in that goes in all sorts of different categories as well. Create your network now. Okay, there's some people right now in this room who could be your greatest allies in the future. Okay, I have a photographer that I've known for about like 10, 12, 13 years now in Chester, and we're always bouncing work off each other. Because there's only one of you, so sometimes I can't do a job, I send him the job, and sometimes he sends me some work and all that kind of stuff. And it comes back to this, we're not competition for each other type of thing. Just work together, and you're going to get much more out of it. Another example is another tourism campaign that I did last year. Actually two of them. One of them was a tender that required lots of landscape photography. Okay, I don't do landscapes. Okay, because to do a landscape well, you need to wake up at times when I don't want to wake up. You have to be there on the right day, the right time, the right conditions. Okay, I can't be bothered with that. It's not me. I'm a people person. Okay, but the thing is, that was part of the requirement. So I called one of my mates, who's one of the best, landscape and industrial photographers I know. And I said, let's do a joint bid on it. I'll do the people, you do the landscapes. We'll both make money. It's all good, and that worked. So, or if anybody's interested in drone photography, okay, I put a bid in for a job, was £30,000, and I was like, yeah, I can do this. But the one caveat was that they required some drone photography. I don't have a drone. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. Was I going to pass £30,000 because I can't shoot with a drone? No, I used my network, found a drone pilot, and we, I put the bid in, and we managed to do the job. So hopefully you're all talking to each other, and you're all keeping tabs on what each other does, and make sure that you stay in contact, because you never know when that can come in handy. Joint associations, that's another thing. Obviously, I was national director for the British Institute of Professional Photography, so I'm a fan of it. But also I'm a fan of it because I made some great contacts, some immense contacts, and with these contacts, I don't want to sound obsessed with this, but I made lots of money. Okay, because that's the thing. We like I'm talking about how to have a creative business. Okay, and this business, is it's phenomenal. It gives you lots of flexibility. It allows you to do your own personal projects on the side when you're not working for somebody else. It's really good, but you need to make sure that you bring some money in. If you're only doing the personal projects, it might work, but sometimes you'll have some drop. I mean, my cousin, she's a photographer based in Berlin, and her latest show was about the Jewish experience of memorial and place and stuff, and she's got these talks and conferences and shows booked here, there, and everywhere. But it's a bit more personal. It's not it's not as businessy. Let's put it that way. So the BIPP was really good for me because of the contacts. I also really support the RPS locally. They've got a great chapter. But also, if you want to see like phenomenal landscape photography, check these out. And the difference between the BIPP and the RPS is that the BIPP is 100% professionals. The RPS is 80% amateurs. And the difference, like with some of what these people do is, like for example, in the landscape stuff, the RPS guys absolutely kill it. Why? Because they've got all the time, okay, and it's projects of passion and all that kind of stuff. While when you're professional, and this is really important, you have to deliver on time, on budget, okay? On time, on budget. So quite often you'll see something and think, oh, I did a better shot than this, my university project. But the thing is, like for example, imagine shooting 35 days in a row. Do you think I did not hit rain at one point? Or I mean, there was one day, okay, like I tried to stay positive, but one day I was just like moaning all day long because I was thinking, I'm right now taking the worst picture ever of a very well-known landscape, which there are millions of better pictures than mine right now on the internet. But I, being a professional, I was on time, on budget, and all that kind of stuff, and I was just working with what we could work with. If you want to go big, if you want to be big, go big, okay? And so from the start, have this agency mindset. Now, I obviously started with an editor, well, retoucher, because I had to, okay? But the thing is, and this idea came to me reading an article on the 99U, okay? Google it, it's amazing. So there was these two guys that started a tiny design agency to start with, and they literally thought, you know what, we're gonna go all in, and we're just gonna act as if we're really big, and that way we're gonna, get the clients that we want. And what they did was they got a flat together. So these guys just got a flat together. They got a cook, they got a cleaner, and they felt really, really guilty about this kind of stuff, because they thought, we don't even have a company yet. But they went all out, and that allowed them, that gave them the time to strictly focus on what was profitable, on what they were good at, which was coming up with ideas, coming up with concepts, and all that kind of stuff. Now, if I told you, like who here has the money to, like, for example, I've got a PA, Alex, she's amazing. Who here has the money to afford a PA? You probably think, not very much of you. But the thing is, Alex found me a £25,000 tender job. Like literally, if it wasn't for her, like she's got this weekly task list, and one of her task lists is have a look at tenders. And one week she found a tender. Nikki applied for it because Nikki is a specialist at applying for tenders. We got it, okay? So how much do you think a PA costs me? Nothing. She pays for herself, okay? And if you're interested, you can get stuff like from Time Etc. Time Etc. That's the like virtual PA type of thing, okay? The maximum will cost you is like £400 a month, but if you use it well, it'll make you money. So I've got a retoucher, I've got a PA, I have, Nikki also designs our wedding albums, okay? I don't have mental staying power. I can't even stay still, okay? So going through 1,000 pictures and selecting, like 50 to 100 to go into a wedding album, I'm not gonna do that, am I? It's never gonna happen. But the thing is, whether it's a January bride, who's like the only one in the month, or a July bride who's like one of 10, they don't get, like everybody has to have the same level of customer service. Everybody needs to have the same level of attention. And the only way that I can give that to them is by making sure that I've got the right person doing those jobs. And obviously, you might think, well, I would make more money if I didn't have all these people working for me, all these many people just like keeping this thing on track. But I wouldn't be working as much if it wasn't for these people, okay? So like literally every time we go for the wedding album of the year competition, we always win. Why? Because I've got somebody that's really, really good at it, just kind of doing it, and then off that we get more clients and all that kind of stuff. My PA, she finds me jobs. She makes sure that the jobs don't die in my inbox, okay? That's embarrassing, but that happens to a lot of people, especially for whatever reason, okay? I've got three different, not only three different emails, but I've got three different email systems. So I've got one which is like super secure and encrypted and all that kind of stuff. Then I've got the one for calendar photography, and then I've got the one for calendar photography that's on Google, which I don't like. So then I've got another one for Lovely Booth, which is on Zoe and all that kind of stuff. So I can't manage all of these emails. I get about like 200 or 300 a day. So you'll have some inquiries that'll just die there. So just having somebody getting in and just keeping on top of them, you know, it's extremely valuable. You know, Alex again, she got 5 bookings last week, you know, by herself. So that, you know, it doesn't cost any money if you just do it right. Another way to keep the business going is steering clear of trends. Okay, this is perhaps more of an issue on the social side of photography. I mean, a couple of years ago it was terrible that there was this trend, partly started by one of my mates, where they had these pictures of the couples like holding hands and looking into the distance, unhappy. I think, it's your wedding day, what's wrong with you? Do you know what I mean? And or there was this fake vintage trend, okay, which is essentially you take any kind of picture and you just kind of like put yellowish all over it. That's not vintage. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like, people invested themselves so much in that thing, and then like in the SEO, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like if you looked for a vintage wedding photographer in Cheshire, you know, you had like these people, and they were it for that period of time. But then when that trend goes, there goes your business. You know what I mean? So and the way that I see it on the social side is that the women spend so much time and care choosing the colors that they choose. I'm not going to be the one messing with them. So one thing about us is that we keep the colors as clean and pure as possible. That's what I think anyways. Everybody that works for me needs to do this color accuracy test, and if they don't have 100%, they're out. So they tell me it's on, so I believe them, it's on. That's why my Instagram's a bit dodgy, because I do it anyways. When it comes to the commercial side of it, so I just recently finished all of Visit Wales photography for 2020. Visit Wales has a very, very distinctive color palette. I'm not gonna, or they've got plans, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So I just send them the pictures as clean and clear as possible. I don't even crop them, okay? And then they can do whatever they want with it. I'm not going to be the one that's going to be kind of like steering them in that direction, okay? So both on my weddings, on my social side and my commercial side, I try to keep it clean. And also, you don't have to stick to one thing. I've got, and it's really funny because quite often my 2 sets of clients don't really know about the other thing. It's like, you know, the other person is you know, totally separate from me, which I find really, really interesting, a bit bizarre. So the reason was, so I do stuff that interests me. Okay, so I'm really into into weddings for personal, for a society, for society reasons and all that kind of stuff. I find the whole thing really interesting. Family portraits, boudoirs, pets. Pets maybe less so, but it's still all good. You know what I mean? And then I've got a commercial brand, and the reason why I did it that way is because when you have buyers going on your websites, they want to be able to kind of label you really quickly, okay? So they don't want, like for example, recently I started doing lots of industrial work for EDF, Total, and all that kind of stuff. Now they wanted me to take pictures of their brand new petrol station. Do you think that the kind of person that's hiring me for pictures of a petrol station wants to see pictures of babies or dogs or you know, women in their wedding dress? Not really. They want to really quickly access, you know, something that they, oh yeah, that guy knows what he's doing in that kind of sector. So as long as you, like some people have it all in one, they say for SEO purposes, but the thing is, if you have too many targets at one website, well then they might consider it spamming and also you're diluting it a bit. So just have strong identity, strong brands. Especially you can get websites for pretty cheap, especially because I've got a 50% discount coming up. But so it's really you just get a new website for different brands and all that kind of stuff. And it's a creative business, so it has to pay the bills. The thing is, when I know when I started, or when I started getting interested in photography, which was when I was in my teens, what got me into it was never ever money. But the fact that I make some money allows me to carry on doing it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people struggle with the whole art business thing, but starving is not fun. And also, if you're into the social bit, nobody's gonna cry if you go bankrupt. And 40%, like in 2016 anyways, 40% of people that started in degrees similar to yours ended up working in hospitality. Okay. Now obviously, that's not going to happen to you guys because you're clearly more passionate and all that kind of stuff. But it's really a wonderful business to be involved with. I've met all sorts of people. So sometimes I come home and think, how has this happened? And it's really because of bills. So and this will help with longevity and expansion. Expansion, that's where the photo booth thing came in, because when I say you have an agency mindset, you can do it in a couple of ways. You can do it, like, for example, now if people ask me for drone photography, yes, I take the job, but I'm actually paying one or two of my mates to do it and all that kind of stuff. So that you become this hub, of where you can provide a service. So that's one way of expanding, because if not, you're only making money when you turn up, and there's only so much time that you can do it. I mean, then in terms of expansion, the photo booth is also an interesting way for me, because and this is funny because when I got the photo booth, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna offer the students £10 an hour so they can just babysit my photo booth. But then I forgot that a lot of students drive small cars, and so that never worked out. But never mind. But eventually, I'll be able to just send it out and get the contract, but without having to invest too much of my time. So again, whether you're getting other creatives to work for you, or just thinking about finding ways to expand your business without being there. It's whoa, what happened there? Okay, cool. Another important thing, when it comes to business, is don't work for free unless you want to. Hey, right. That's what it says, I promise. So what I mean by that is, don't work for free if you think that working for free is somehow going to help your business grow. Okay, it won't, especially not with bands. Okay. No, what happens is that they look for the next person who'll do it for free, and the next person will do it for, and it's not a great way of, I'm pretty sure that nobody has ever looked at one of my pictures, even like when I shot Kate and Will in Chester. Nobody's looked at the picture and thought, oh, I wonder who the photographer is. You know what? I'm going to hire him. That's not how it happens, okay? And I'm not saying never, ever shoot for free. For example, I do free family portraits for people who adopt children. This morning, I volunteered for something around food poverty. I'm not sure what I accepted to do yet, but I'm sure that they'll email me. So find things that reach out to you, and yeah, by all means, do it. But do it because you want to. Don't do it because you somehow think that it's going to help your business. And everyone is. There you go. Everyone's an influencer, and thankfully they're on their way out. I hire a lot of models, okay, and when you look at their profile, it always says model and influencer, all of them, okay. But the thing is, like, what influencer means effectively is that, and I want your stuff for free, because I'll tell all my friends, and I promise it'll be good for you. But that's the again, like the band thing is, it doesn't work. My wife is actually the commercial director for a marketing agency, and they worked with them, because they were told to, like, for 2 years, trying to find different people and all that kind of stuff. But when you follow somebody like Logan Paul or whatever, you're not thinking, oh wow, I love his headphones. You know what? I'm gonna buy exactly the same type of thing. You might, but one thing that you sure don't do is you wonder who took the picture behind it. And so it's if somebody says, oh, take pictures for me, it'll be good publicity, then I say, oh, thank you very much, but I'll pass. It'll be fine. Apparently, like there was a talk this morning about pricing. Pricing is very, very easy, okay? You pick a magic number. Not really. But this seems to be a strategy, or what they'll do is they'll look around and they'll say, oh, I know, I'll just be a little bit cheaper than that. Well, one of the most frustrating photographers that used to kind of like badger me a bit. Like one show, he looked at my pricing, because pricing is not a secret, it's not a secret thing. So he looked at my pricing, and the next time I saw him, he had the exact same pricing as me, minus 10 pounds everywhere. It's like, as if that's going to make any difference. If somebody, goes for him because he's 10 pounds cheaper than me, they were not my client, and that's okay, right? So one of the really, really important thing about pricing is you need to have a think of how much does it cost you to be in business, okay? So for example, I've got the people I hire, I've got, the taxes this month apparently, or whatever. More or less in my case, it cost me £2,000 a month to run my business, okay? So I'm not doing anything else, and it just like this money just goes away. Not always entirely sure where it goes, but that's more or less the number. So I need to make that back, and then I need to pay for my mortgage and pay for my gear and all that kind of stuff. Anybody who thinks that you just buy a camera and then things are magical, clearly never had a shutter failure. Okay, so okay, in 13 years I've had 3 shutter failures, but that's like 600, 700 pounds repair each time, and you need to have the gear behind it to replace it, and you need to have the money behind it to replace it. So you're not only thinking about your actual outgoings, but you need what I kind of call a war chest. You need to have like some money in the back, that if things get rough, you've got reserves. And so this all needs to be considered when it comes to your pricing. And also, how much do you need, how much do you want to live? Some people, they like to have you close all the time and really nice sporty cars and stuff like that, and that's cool. But the thing is, like, if that's you, you need to think about that in your pricing as well. Also, another thing that sometimes people don't think, especially when it comes to self-employed people, is you don't know how much money they've got behind them. So, you know, they might have a spouse with a great salary, which means that they don't need to work as much. They might, you know what I mean? So just looking at who's in your area, copying their pricing, and you know, minus £10, that's not really going to work. And one thing which really does my head in a bit is like experience-based pricing, right? So and this is especially at entry level, or some of you guys might do it, which is like I'll charge you £500 for my wedding now for the wedding, because I'm just starting up and this and that, all sorts. Okay. The problem with that is that every client can become a referral. Yeah. Okay. And whoever values you and your work at £500, okay. Hopefully they won't need you again for another wedding. But if they refer you, chances are the people within their circle will also value you and your work at £500, because people kind of hang around with the same kind of people, in terms of values, finances, and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So let's say you have a very, very successful year. You shoot 50 weddings at £500 each, and all that kind of stuff. You're dying on your feet because you didn't take my advice and get a retoucher, and you say, okay, right, now I'm experienced. I'm going to charge £1,000 or £1,500 or £2,000, and then all the people that you shot, they all told your friends, oh, this lady, she's amazing, she's super cheap, and you should go in and talk to her. Say, oh yeah, you did my friend's wedding for £500. Oh yeah, that was then. Now I charge £1,500. I say, oh well, they're gonna find somebody else at £500. Okay. The cheapest wedding I ever did, like from the start, what was £1,500, and it was not because I I thought, it just because I went on a 2-day business course for wedding photographers, and I did the math, and I thought, well, for the kind of stuff that I want to offer, and for my expenses, that's why I need to charge. And so I'm not saying charge the same, but I'm saying do your own math, and make sure that you know what comes with it. Okay, so for example, if you are comfortable with £500 per wedding, make sure that you can actually shoot the amount of weddings that you're going to require to feed yourself. And that's what I mean by compare the right way. Like what I was saying earlier was that you never know how much money like one of my friends, he's quite cheap. He also has a phenomenal early retirement, from the RAF, so he doesn't really need that much money. Is it good enough to sell? That again, sell. This is about business. This is another place where competitions can be handy. Okay, but the thing with competitions is that they can be a bit formulaic. Okay, so the first competition that I went in, I swung, I got nothing, and that was the only one, because when I went there and I saw on the wall what I was going against, or then oh, that's what I need to aim for. That's what's winning, all that kind of stuff. So it kind of like helped me readjust myself and see what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong for that particular clientele. I mean, one of the more extreme ones, for example, on the wedding side is Fearless photographers that does a lot of a lot of dodge and burning. There's lots of, they have a very, very strong, very, very strong look. If you go for the SWPP ones, that's totally different. If you go for the RPS ones, they're totally different. Okay, so it's kind of like writing romantic novels back in the day. There was like there was this very successful lady, and she had kind of like a formula. And if you know the formula, but at least know how. There was one lady that came to me for a bit of a critique, and she was showing me children portraiture, and she was like, what do you think? And the first thing that came out of my mouth was, do you realize that their eyes and things there's no point of focus, like on none of them, And she was like, oh yeah, I didn't, so it is important to compare that way, and find somebody who can give you constructive critique and kind of deal with it. Okay, that means not your mum, not like either a professional, a mentor, or all that kind of stuff, or also if you go with an association, all the qualifications they offer, like you need to go through panel. So either like 20 pictures and all that kind of stuff, and then you have 3 to 5 photographers, and they will look at it and they will dissect it maybe in a way that you've not done it yourself, or that your friends might be too shy to tell you. You know what I mean? So it's really, really, really important, because the thing is, contrarily to other jobs, like for example, accountant again, if you fail in this business, okay, it hurts, okay, because you think, oh, I'm not good enough, or my, an accountant that loses a job never thinks that. They think, all right, I'll just go and count numbers somewhere else. But whenever there's any form of art, you do take it quite personally. So you need to be able to detach yourself and get it critiqued, and that will help you go forward. If somebody that can't even see colors right, manages to keep 3 businesses afloat for 10 years, surely you guys can too, yeah? Okay. So, be professional. Now, there's lots of stuff in there that I wanted to put in. I didn't have time. One, always be on time, okay? Sounds naff as anything, okay? But if you've got a studio and the makeup girl's £35 an hour, the models, they charge whatever they want, the lighting, the hair, everybody's on the money. I mean, so if you, like the moment you're late, you actually start losing money on the shoot, okay? Or for example, with the campaign that I did, not only did we shoot for 35 days straight, but we had no lunch breaks, no nothing, because we just did not have time. And everything, has consequences in terms of the end result. So that's, I mean, one day I was doing interviews, and this person came in 15 minutes late, and so she sat down and I said, "You good?" "Oh yes, sorry about that. I got caught in the traffic." And I was like, "Okay, so if we need to well, for example, like the Duke's funeral or a wedding, and this is the time we start, you're going to arrive late and you can say, 'Oh, sorry about that. I got stuck in traffic.' That's not going to work." And it's one of the basic things that they literally teach you in primary school, okay? But when you get sacked because because you're losing money, or because you literally missed your target, and that person is not going to be back at that particular spot, like Prince Charles, he never stops for a picture. The way it works is that you have his PA coming like 2 hours before. They tell you, right, he's going to come here. He's going to pull a pint here. He's going to throw some darts here, and then he's going to go. He doesn't stop, okay? So if you've missed your cue, you've missed it. And then what? I was late. I was stuck in traffic. It does my head in. Admin, get it done one way or another. That's massively important. You can't let inquiries die, and you can't, you've got to keep on top of everything. If you can't do it yourself, hire a professional. It's not that expensive versus the amount of money that you're going to lose for not getting the jobs. Permits and permission, okay? That is massively, massively, massively important. And some of them are more of a pain than others. National Trust, hate them. Like you need to call them a long time ahead, and you know, and you do the thing and you pay the price. So some of them are super easy. Like for example, Cadoo on the spot, £30, 1 page of A4, job done. But make sure that you always, wherever you go, are allowed to shoot where you are, especially with drones, okay, because you're going to get collared by the cops, and if not, you're going to have, especially with the National Trust, you're going to have some lawyer chasing some copyright fees, because all of their buildings are copyrighted, even though they were there way before them, and they will be there hopefully long after them. There you go. Talk about longevity. This is a bit of a strange one, perhaps, but keep fit. Okay. If you're physically tired, you can't be creative. Okay, and especially like, you know, if you've got, you know, your wedding season, you're doing like 3 weddings back to back. Okay, back in the day it was like a strange fashion to just kind of like hang your, you know, your camera off your hand without using a strap or anything. And after a while, I started icing my hands between shoots. And then my wife asked one of my mates, you know, how's Jerry do after weddings? So he drinks out of a straw. I was like, that's not happening to me. You know, so now I'm actually working with lighter kit, making sure that I'm fit, and you know, just like that. That's a really important thing. Lovely booths. In my case, that's my photo booth company. That's really cool because that means that even when I'm not there, I can still sell services and make some money. You can do it your own way, either through working collaboratively as an agency, or finding products which again don't require your presence. And remember why you started, and that's really important. I mean, like for years, I think like for 3 years back to back, I did not shoot unless I was paid, quite literally, and then it becomes a bit cold. It becomes a bit formulaic, and that kind of sucks because every now and again, you know, it's late. You had a few beers, and you're thinking, I remember why I started this. It wasn't about having businesses. You know, it was, you know, because I was really touched by, you know, the art of one or the other and all that kind of stuff, and I wanted to somehow, you know, do something similar, or I wanted to be where that person was and all that kind of stuff. And if you forget this, you are going to become strictly business, and that's going to make it very boring, and your work is going to drop, and then suddenly you won't have a job, and you're thinking, oh, how'd that happen? Because you lost your passion. Word from sponsor, Studio Ninja, CRM, okay, super amazing. Okay, effectively, you can automate your inquiry response. It does your accounting for you and all that kind of stuff. Ninja Ioan, catchy thing. That's 50% off for a year. I've used lots of CRMs before. This one is the one I find the easiest one because it's very visual. And Zenfolio. So I'm an ambassador for different brands. So drop them in line. This one is cool because if you're not techie and you don't have time for WordPress and all that kind of stuff, you can sell and you blog. Everything is all in one little bit. Makes it simpler. So thank you very much. Hopefully you got something out of that. And yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. Oh, there you go.